As an artist, one of the things I get asked the most is, can you teach me how to paint? Hey, I'm Lori, seascape, landscape, and animal acrylic painter, and I love encouraging others in their artistic journey. Free acrylic painting tutorials are what this channel is all about, so if you're new here, you'll want to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Watch until the end of the video if you want to see some behind the scenes footage. Now let's get into the tutorial. I have my friend Karen here. Hi. And we're going to do this step by step together, and I'm going to show her how to do it. Do you see yourself as a painter, Karen?
I haven't painted for a long time.
So you're the perfect candidate. So as you see, I have a bunch of brushes for us, so we each have our own set. So this is your set, and this is mine. So like a little detailed brush, sort of a smaller knife edge brush. And then a medium knife edge brush, chisel edge, some people call it. So we're going to start with a large one. So we just set aside all your other brushes out of the way. And we each have a cup of water, and we're just going to wet our brush. And we each have a paper towel to wipe any excess paint or water. So we just want to make sure our brush is nice and bendy and a bit moist. And I'm going to mix our background color for this arbutus tree. So we're going to do like a blue sky and an ocean behind it. So this is this color, phthalo blue red shade. And then this is titanium white. And I'm going to put mostly white. I'm going to try to really make a very, very light sky. And so that phthalo blue red shade is really potent color. So as you see, I'm trying to make it light, and I've put too much. There we go. We're getting to the light.
Look, I'm matching.
Oh, beautiful. You have phthalo blue red shade on your nails? That's awesome.
Yeah, I came prepared.
So what I'm doing is I'm just making us a little pot of the same color so that we don't run out. And then we can both dip into that when I've got it mixed. So I'm just mixing and making sure that it's not, you know, I've got a bunch stuck in the bottom of my brush, so I'm just making sure to get it all in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go like just under midway. So say this is just under half of the, so if that's midway, we're going just under half, and then we're just going to paint the whole top blue. So I hope all of you out there watching are pausing to go get your paints, or maybe watch it one time through and then go buy all the supplies that you need if you don't have them, and then come back and paint along, because this is going to be a real-time video where you can actually
get a coffee. We have coffee.
Yeah, we've got our Starbucks. And no, Starbucks is not sponsoring this video. I wish they were. And so in the West Coast, where we are, the West Coast of Canada.
You can tell because we're drinking Starbucks.
Yeah. Our horizons are always really, really white. I've been in Hawaii, and strangely, their horizons are not. Isn't that funny? Their horizons go like the same color straight from sort of where the sky meets the earth all the way up into the clouds. In Hawaii, it's all one color, but on our coastline, and probably many coastlines throughout the world, the horizon's actually super light, and then it kind of gradiates up to a darker blue color.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, and then the other thing that we can do is take this cad yellow light, put a little tiny bit.
Just that Hawaii is very pastel-y color.
Yeah, I
guess
guess
it surprised me.
I don't know. It's interesting. I do find our skies a bit more interesting with the gradation. Is that a word? Gradient?
Gradation. Sounds good.
Okay.
Gradation. Radiation. Gradation. And, you know, this time in the winter, it's very gray deviation for sure.
So what I just did is so at first, I stole all your white. So I'm going to give you some pure white so that you can do a little bit of what I did and put sort of a white horizon. And what I'm also going to do is now blend the two horizons with this bluish yellow color, because where we live, again, it kind of does that right at the horizon line. It has just that bit of sunshine, I guess. Sometimes. Today it's very faint. We can actually see the ocean from where we're sitting.
We can. We're so lucky.
Yes, it's wonderful. And see how it's not pure white when we look out there?
There's the yellow.
It's just really faint. It's like the faintest type of yellow, but that's pretty much what we're trying to do right here.
Which we're hoping is sunshine and not smog.
Yes, that would be good.
So you started here.
With the yellow, yeah, just sort of between. And so yours is a little bit dark. Can you do this one? Put it on there.
This?
And here. Yeah. Can I help you?
Please do.
Just because my brush has the right color on it. And then you know what you can do? Wash out your brush. Wash it out with your water. Clean it off on your paper towel. And then you can actually take some of that paint off. So you can go like this. And some of it will come off.
I'm trying to make it sunny because I want the sun.
Yeah, and so do what you want now. Like if you like that bunch of sun, that's fine. If not, you can put even a little bit more blue on your brush and then just kind of
I do this one. Yeah.
Go back. Yeah, go back. Just on this top edge. So all you're trying to do is just make it a little bit more subtle. That the change between the colors a bit more subtle.
Now we're getting there.
There you go. And then I'm going to do even more white on my horizon line. I really like that. And as we look out at the real sky that we're looking at from this vantage point, see how there's clouds? The clouds are really bright colored down by the horizon line. So see how I'm just kind of making it really messy?
I can do messy.
Yeah. It's kind of like clouds at the horizon line is what that kind of is. And this isn't the main event of the painting. This is just the background. So we're going to make it very loose and...
Oh, I know. It's the first thing you do. You fuss over it.
Yeah.
I'll get better.
Hard not to fuss. But painting a tree is going to be really fun.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what's really fun too is because we're filming and we can see the results of our work right away. Like if you come up here and look in the camera, you kind of see that we're on camera for one. I have to move it over. But can you see how it kind of looks cool already? Like sometimes you have to look at your painting from a distance, like from a camera angle to see how cool it looks.
I see more in yours what you were doing with the light and the yellow here.
But yours is going to be just great. I really like your clouds. They're more cloudy than mine. Anyways, let's not fuss too much. Let's do a couple of little islands. Actually, no, let's first do the ocean. So we're going to pick this medium dark color right here and maybe even put a little bit of this Payne's Gray. Did I show you guys this one yet?
Nope.
So this was Payne's Gray. I'm just going to change the depth of the ocean color a little bit. Just so it's different than the sky. I might have done it backwards, but oh well.
Backwards?
See how the clouds have a lot of Payne's Gray in them?
Yeah.
On our picture. And if you guys want to see our reference photo, I will post that at the end and you can take a screenshot of it. Okay, so I'm going to wet the paint down a little bit with some water just to make it a little bit more flowy, but this is the color you can grab. And then just paint in the ocean.
I'm going to a couple of starfish in here, and there's a whale. Can you see it?
You're just grabbing them and putting them in there?
Yeah.
Nice. guess I should put my
Did you start here?
down. Yeah. So basically the whole rest of the canvas that we haven't painted yet. And try to make that line as straight as you can, because the ocean is always level. Amazing how that happens.
Does it need more water to be more flowy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, on your brush probably. So my brush is probably a bit wetter than yours because I keep putting it in my water cup to add to the thing. So if your brush is dry, yeah, you need some more water on it. Doop. So I was also painting around the edges just to make it finished so that when we put them on our mini canvas, can you put it back in the camera so the good people can see?
No.
It sucks to be a movie star, doesn't it?
It's so hard. Just doing my touch-up.
Mm-hmm. Now her ocean's in the sky and her sky's in the ocean, just because it's upside down.
I'm doing one of those reflective paintings.
I might do a Bob Ross painting soon. He's so like...
I'm going to look for a wig for you then.
For a what?
A wig, a curly-haired wig for you. Yeah.
But I'll be wearing it up here and nobody will see it because all they see is our hands.
They'll know. They'll know.
We'll tell them that I've got it on. Oh, speaking of which, I was reading up on Bob Ross.
Yeah?
Do you know why he had an afro?
No. I thought that was just his hair.
No. It was a perm.
He purposely did that?
He purposely did that.
Because artists have curly hair?
Well, here's a funny thing. He did that because he thought that if he had curly hair, like really curly hair, that he didn't have to cut it as often. Seriously, he was being like frugal, and then he got famous with the hair, and apparently he hated it. And he couldn't stop it because it was his thing.
Shtick.
It was his, what do you call that? When you like market yourself?
Oh, his brand.
His brand.
He didn't want to go off brand.
No, couldn't go off brand.
Even back then.
He was stuck in his brand. Isn't that hilarious?
He didn't want to go off brand before it was cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Eli's hair, I am a hair moron. That's what I call myself because I know nothing for hair. But I actually cut his when he was little because it was curly. That was the only thing, because curly hair is more forgiving.
Okay, yeah, and I guess that's what he thought.
Well, you can't tell if you make a mistake.
So I just put some more titanium white in the Payne's Gray, and I'm going to start making some little islands.
A happy little island!
Did Bob Ross paint islands? I think once in a while he did.
Oh, you can't not.
He mostly did mountains, didn't he? So I guess, is this an island mountain?
Yes.
And then we can do a happy little tree. And apparently trees never have...
And a happy little bird.
There's never two trees. It's just that the tree has a friend or something like that.
Oh, right.
What are the other
Are we going to give
Ross?
this island a friend? Is this gonna
Yes. But he's going to be a little bit lonely because they're not going to be on the same side of the water. Gonna be sad.
They can use the ocean to wave at each other.
That's a good one. So the other little friend is over here. And so I'm purposely making these islands quite light because I want to push them into the distance. So if I made these islands a dark color, it would just make them feel like they were on the same side, in the same plane as the tree we're going to do. And I don't want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like they're way off in the distance. So there they are. I'm going to put just a couple of dark spots on them. Just for the smudgiest bit of detail. Like that.
I'm having island trouble. Is my brush too big?
You know what, if you feel more comfortable, do you realize that these brushes are very special because of this this knife edge situation? So when I was doing my islands, all I was using was just the very tippy corner of the brush, as though it was a small brush. Does that make sense?
It does.
So yeah, so I should keep I use my paper towel to keep the shape, to keep the nice knife edge shape. And then I just tip the tippy in there.
Okay.
And then I just paint with that little corner. And that way we can get away with kind of using the same brush for a while. And pretty soon we're going to go to a smaller brush. But right now I think we're good.
That was an excellent tip. It's working for me.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm just, I just noticed there was a white hole on my sky, so I'm just filling it in. And now my sky's not uniform, but that's good because skies really aren't uniform. They do, yeah, there's lots going on in the sky usually. Okay, what are we going to do next? So there is one more little island closer to the shore. And so I'm going to make this color a little darker because as you come forward in the painting, everything that's dark gets darker and everything that's light gets lighter, if that makes sense. So this little island's going to be a little darker than those ones in the distance. So you know what I want to do? I think I want to move the paint mixing. I know people want to see that, but I know they also want to see our paintings. So let's, yeah, maybe a little closer in. There we go. And so the bottom side of this little island should be flat-ish. And maybe we could even move to a smaller brush now. So why don't you move to your medium-sized brush, like this one, and then you can control sort of, you know, that a little bit, make that a little flatter, fill it in a little bit more, and even, you know what, I would leave, your mountains are really hazy, and I would leave that. I think I made a mistake of making mine too crisp, so I'm going to blend my edges a bit so that mine kind of disappear a little bit like yours. Like, yeah, that's better. So the only thing is I might, if I were you, just crisp up the bottom edge of your island.
Yeah, I was waiting for this guy.
Yeah.
This guy. He's sharp. He's a sharp dress brush.
Mm-hmm. So if you put a little water on your clean brush and then just kind of smudge the edges, all of you out there that are painting, it's amazing what you can do. You're kind of lifting some paint and kind of just moving it around. Whenever you see my brush go off screen, I'm usually wiping it off on the paper towel. I'm going to darken this underside of my little island that's close, just to make it look even closer. And I think I'm going to darken this one too because it's even closer than that one. So just the bottom chunk like that. And we're a little crooked. Our video making is a little crooked for some reason. There we go. We're doing it, we're doing it. And I'm going to give you this brush because the one I gave you is a bit older. I want to show you guys out there what happens when you have an older brush. So that one's all hazy and fuzzy. And actually that works well for doing leaves when you have a hazy fuzzy brush. This one's got a chisel edge. So I'm going to give you that one.
Ooh, he's so chiseled. Yep.
So, what do you think so far? Is it kind of fun?
It's very fun. Oops, that's a bit too dark. Come here, a little bit of white.
And the nice thing is, in this stage, mistakes aren't mistakes. Mistakes just make it look like, oh, how wonderful that they did whatever that was. I think even Bob Ross said that. It's just happy little accidents, right? But it's true. Like, the guy was a genius.
My whole life is a happy little accident.
Good for you. So I'm going to introduce to us Jenkins Green.
You've given it a different name.
Oh.
It's a fishing name, isn't it?
I will use this one for the foreground, so I actually won't introduce that yet. Jenkins Green, sorry, is what I'm going to...
Hello, Jenkins. How are you?
Quite well, thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Oh, he's stuck.
Oh, he's feeling a little stubborn today.
He is. Come on, Jenkins. Come on out.
Jenkins.
Oh. He needs a little coaxing. Oh, shoot. Just made a big mess. Ew. Now it's all over me.
Jenkins, you're quite sloppy.
Smashing?
Sloppy.
Oh. I thought you said smashing. I love that word, smashing. I don't think I ever use it. I need to use it more often.
It needs to be followed up with darling.
Smashing, darling. We could say that at the end.
We could say that.
Smash.
Throughout.
Throughout. Okay. Oh. I'm sorry, people. You're falling.
They're not falling. We're falling.
People are falling. People are falling. What do I do with the
Following. People are following. Please follow. Hit the subscribe button. Had a little storm. We're back.
We're back. Okay, so trees. Trees on those little islands, and they need to be Jenkins Green and white. And so just trying to lighten up the Jenkins, sorry, no, it wasn't, yeah, Jenkins Green.
Oh, Jenkins,
Oh,
lighten up.
Jenkins, lighten up.
Lighten up.
And then we just make them super smudgy. Like, see how I'm using the knife edge of my brush on purpose to make a nice line? Like that. Boop.
Oh, and you've given me the lovely one, too.
It's just boop. And if you want, I mean, my lines are going to be cool now because I have the screwy one. That's a bad word.
A curly one? I heard curly. Is that what you said?
Sure. Okay. That's what I said. So I'm kind of looking at a reference photo and just kind of taking some details from like where I'm obviously not painting a photorealistic painting here, but I'm just taking some hints from the reference photo. And then so once I get my sticks in, then I turn my brush the other direction and then put the branches on, but just you barely touch the canvas so that you just don't kind of overdo it. Because you want to leave some space, like some sky showing through, and
I'm still on the trunk, so...
Okay, no worries. Take your time.
This tree's growing a little taller. Okay, yeah.
And I think I'm even going to use a smaller brush because
this one,
I can.
This one's been blown by the wind a little bit, so it's a bit crooked. But you can see this one's crossing over it. There. Tricky.
And I'm going to lighten it up a little bit more, maybe put some yellow in just for a little difference, and then just put a few little highlights.
Happy little highlights.
Happy little highlights. I'm not sure if I like that. Totally random highlights. I don't love it.
Randall.
To be careful not, like I said before, not to put too much detail in this, as it is the background.
It seems like I'm putting a lot. It's really just that I'm overthinking it.
Don't overthink it. Just put some happy little blobs. And your eye, once the painting's done, will go, oh, that's a tree in the background. Because our brains are so smart and recognize things. I'm going to turn my little canvas and do a few on the edge. Boop, 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 boop. What do I do? I think I want to make a few little dark spots under the forest because that kind of would happen naturally.
Oh, I forgot to go back in with the light part, so that's good.
And then don't forget to look up here in the camera if you're curious how it's coming. Because you are doing actually a better job. Mine is way too tight and yours is nice and smudgy and breezy, and
I'm just generally a foggy type of person.
it's good. It's really good at, oh my gosh, like the depth in yours is way better. Mine is way too like, hi, I'm a tree. And you'll see what I mean once we put the real tree in, the tree in the foreground. Yours will be like, oh, I can see to infinity.
To infinity
and beyond. We have boys.
We really do. And they were of the right age during that movie.
Yeah. Jamie used to jump off the couch and say, Andy, the yawn! And I'd just be like, ha. What the heck is he saying? And Jeff's like, to infinity and beyond, silly. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Okay, I get it. I thought he was, I don't know what I thought.
The third one made me cry, though.
The third one?
The third one?
I don't think I saw the third one.
Oh, you're gonna cry.
Did someone die?
No, just because it's all the boys growing up and...
Oh, and his toys don't matter?
Yeah.
Oh. So I'm trying to copy you. I'm trying to copy yours because yours is better.
Wouldn't it be great if Jamie did that now?
Jumped off the couch and said, Undo the yawn?
Yes.
Right, I guess they don't anymore, and he's 19 now, and out in the big city.
He still does stuff like that. I made an oops.
No, oh, I see. You kind of did.
Yeah, you did.
It's okay. Just try your little brush now and just do a little tiny something on top of that.
But should I go dark or light or in between this one?
Yeah, sure. And just do one blob and see what happens when you just kind of go blob, blob.
I apparently can't blob. Oh, there, it's gone. It's mostly gone. That's just...
Now while I'm waiting for you, I'm gonna mess with my painting a little bit and put a little bit of like just back and forth lines in my ocean.
Do my trees look happy or do they need more darkness in them? Yours are quite dark at the bottom.
I think yours are gonna end up being better than mine. You might want to go to the edge of the canvas, like keep going a little bit, maybe put a couple more sort of beside the ones you have.
I was afraid they'd fall off. You're right though.
But
this one's gone right off.
My reference photo shows that the ocean has some lighter bits. So I'm barely touching the canvas with a really light colored blue. And I'm leaving some space in, but I'm doing long strokes to just make the ocean a bit more interesting. The great thing about painting on mini canvas is you can't really mess it up too far because it's such a small canvas. I would highly recommend beginners start with these little ones.
Peek at my trees from above. It's my island that I'm not happy about, but we're gonna fix that.
And you know what? You can even fix it with the next layer when you do this light stuff that I'm doing. Like the bottom of it probably needs to be flattened a bit or something. Or is there something else you want to do?
It's just this.
Okay.
It goes up instead of down.
Okay. Oops, I just put way too much white on the canvas.
Sorry, did you go straight white?
No, I did a mixture of sort of that sky color that we already had mixed, and I just added some white to it. Because what it is, it's actually a reflection of the sky on the ocean surface.
Oh, it's only on this side.
Yeah, it seems like it's only on that side, and I'm probably doing too much here now, but kind of looks cool. Oh, and there's a little bit I see as I'm looking at the reference photo. There's a little bit over here too. So make sure and try to make your little tiny knife edge, like even though this brush is way smaller, if you go back and forth on the canvas to make your knife edge, then you can do this, the finest lines, the skinniest lines, and then just barely touch the canvas, like come from above, and then barely touch the canvas, like that. And now I'm probably talking too quiet again. Fine detail makes me want to whisper. And then people say things like, oh, this is ASMR. And I go, what is that? I don't know what that is. Can someone explain it to me in the comments? What is ASMR? I mean, I've looked it up, but just tell me your opinion of it, maybe.
This looks like a clown's face.
Our palette is becoming a painting.
It's a clown's face painting. So I hope you're not scared of clowns.
I'm not one of those people. These are actually pretty cool little paintings. We could stop right here and say, there you go. That's what we meant to do. But yeah, wouldn't they be? Like, it'd be really tempting to just go, yep, done. But I promised another friend that we would do a paint night and that we would do an arbutus tree, one of the most beautiful trees in the world. And so this is supposed to just be the background for our arbutus painting. So while Karen's doing her water, so remember how I said to come from above and then make sure you have your knife edge back and forth? Yeah. And make sure that whatever paint you're using is really liquidy, so that your brush has some water on it, and you know, getting some. See what I'm saying?
It rained on your painting.
Oh, did I do that? Whoopsies.
I don't know. Something did. It rained. Just one drop though. I think it's blown over.
It might make it look cool. I like this little pathway it's not really a pathway, but on the ocean sometimes there's these really strange patterns on the surface.
Oh, I see that.
And it kind of just showed up, like I didn't actually mean to do that. But it just kind of happened as I was painting my bits of sky reflection there.
Not watery enough.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fine line. You have to like use your paper towel to get it just moist but not dripping, and then you dip it into your paint. And then you even see what I'm doing here on the canvas. I'm going to show all of you guys too. Sorry. So my brush is nice and moist, but then I even do that a couple times right on the canvas just to flatten it out again and to get just the right amount of paint on my brush. Oh, was I even showing all of you people? There we go. So back and forth, and then I still have that little knife edge, and then I use the skinniest part of the knife edge to make little strokes. Am I in your way?
Just this.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Our reference photo got buried.
And suddenly, my painting looks like the palette.
Oh, and then I'm going to do a couple more on this edge. Just to finish it off, like so. There's some underneath. There we go. Yeah. That's cool. See, it's working. And just make sure they're quite parallel to one another, not like kind of going diagonally at all, because the ocean always stays level. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Okay, my husband just called, but now we're back and continuing the painting, and Karen has had an epiphany, I think.
I have a question.
Oh, a question.
It's a bit of an epiphany. You know what I'm thinking is I don't know where the light source is in this. That's what's confusing me about where to put these.
Okay.
So
if we look at that, oh yeah, go ahead. You probably had the epiphany.
It's just a cloudy day in this picture, so I don't know if the sun is
Let's look at it together.
So yeah, I don't know if the sun is just here, is sort of in the middle of the sky.
It's kind of coming from like over our left shoulder. Well, maybe even right over our backs actually, like behind us.
So it's coming this way.
Yeah.
So then which parts would be lighter
Right. See
And which
how
parts
this
are dark?
whole,
I mean,
whole part of the island is in shadow, and this whole part of this island's in light. So it
okay,
must be
so
coming
sun's
from over our
there.
left shoulder, yeah.
Which would mean, in terms of the water, which parts are lighter? Which,
Well,
I mean,
the water
some of
is
you might
hard,
be able
yeah.
to see this right away, but I
The water is
don't.
really hard to, I mean, every time I look out at the water, I'm shocked. I'm like, I still can't, like, it's almost random because it depends on what, you know, how white the clouds are in the sky, because it's reflecting clouds in the sky. It's reflecting, it's not just sunshine on the water. And then if the water's ripply, if it's stormy, if it's flat, different things happen. Like if this was clear water, or not clear water, but still water, we'd see more reflection of that island. And maybe if the sun was in a different spot, we'd see more reflection. But we don't really even see any reflection. We just see of the island. We see a reflection of the sky.
So what we're doing with the whites here is these are kind of the tops of the waves.
Yes.
That are being caught.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just literally looking at the reference photo and looking at it abstractly and going, oh, look, it's a zigzag shape. It's almost like an S around the island.
Oh, okay, I see.
And so then I'm just trying to kind of keep that in mind when I'm doing my kind of back and forths. So I go shoo, 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 shoo. And same with over here. I see that it, you know, it's kind of like a upside down island. See how the island shape is like that, and then my reflection shape is kind of the same shape as the island. And it just happens to be that way. It's not because it's reflecting the island at all. It's just that's where what the clouds and the water are doing around the island right there.
So the light is here, which kind of is making sense. This is lighter here. And so I just need to do more white here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
And then this area, leave it.
Yeah, because we're going to paint the tree to the middle anyways, yeah. But I'm glad you mentioned that because I noticed that, well, first I'm going to finish doing a little bit of detail on this closer island. The reason this island gets a bit more detail is because it's closer. And so I'm just going to do a few little, I don't know, I guess it's moss. There's some moss growing on the top of this island that you can see because it's close enough.
Seaweed?
Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah, we have barnacles here. They're I don't know what they are.
They're barnacle.
They're very sharp.
Oh, yes.
I still have a scar on my leg from when I was 7. I wasn't even living here at the time, but I was visiting my aunt and uncle.
Wow.
And I was just swimming and the water is so cold that I didn't know I'd cut my leg.
This is what happens.
Yeah, and I came out and I was all happy just because, you know, kids like to be cold, I guess, with my cousins.
Seems like it.
So when you're doing that, make sure to always do the back and forth and just end where you want to end, but don't draw the line with your, yeah, that's better. Yeah. And then, yeah, the water was so cold, I guess my leg was frozen, like literally. And then I went up to go see my aunt and uncle, and I was running across the beach, and they just had this horrified look on their face because I had this cut about this long on my leg, like as long as my paintbrush, and it was just gushing, pouring out blood. It was bad. Just, I guess I was climbing around a log, and the log had
the barnacles
on it.
Yeah.
And I just barely bumped it, and just
some
sliced
kind
me right
of
over.
Bacteria in it or something that gets in and it affects it, makes it worse. That's why they take so long to heal.
Oh, I see.
And the cut itself isn't the bad bit.
Just now, I just lightened up my mossy color with a bit more white. And, oops, too much white. I don't want it to look white, I just want it to look lighter. And just highlight a bit of that moss. As you can see, I'm not being very specific, just making sure that there's some blue poking through. And because we had that discussion about where the light is and stuff, and how this part of the island is supposed to be dark, and over here there's actually light shining, I'm going to put that little bit of detail on this side, just with random kind of, I guess it's the rocks that we're seeing.
Yeah.
And so I'll leave it kind of like that. Don't want to do too many. But you know what? They're kind of a little tinted. I've kind of done them in blue there. I'm going to add a little, just the smallest bit of brown to my white so that it will look like a rock. So I'm using burnt umber, and I'm not even going to put it on my palette. I'm just going to stick so little of it in the white that I just stuck my paintbrush right in the container. Sorry about my arm. Okay.
It's okay.
I need to be mixing over here.
I feel like I'm going more from your painting than the photograph.
That's fine. It's a lot easier to paint off of a painting than it is to paint off a photo. Unless I'm making it really ugly. You don't want to follow mine.
Not at all. It's beautiful.
And because that little island's a little closer, you can see that it's made of rocky material more than kind of blue off in the distance. So I'm just going to add a bit of brown